back, everybody, to another episode of Uninformed Movie Reviews.
Uninformed Movie Reviews, it's Uninformed Movie Review. Thank you for watching our Oscar episode.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
Nailed it.
I love
Great
it.
cover of our cover.
Yeah. I was going to say what episode this is, but honestly, I don't even know now. What
26, episode
26.
26.
All right. And something that's kind of mind-blowing to me, we're talking about Star Wars for the first time on the channel.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I take that back. We did a review of Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yikes.
We did a CLE.
That was bad.
And you know what? That's the last movie that I've seen in theaters.
Oh,
Wow.
that's sad.
Yeah, I was looking at Alamo Drafthouse
yeah.
because it keeps your movies that you've
stats.
seen, your stats. And I was like, whoa.
Wow, there's another stat daddy on the horizon.
But it's crazy to think about.
I actually do their numbers for them.
Oh, okay.
That movie came out like 2 months before quarantine, essentially. That's kind of mind-blowing. It seems so
It's
long
weird
ago.
that you didn't go to the movies for 2 months. There must not have been anything popping.
It's January, man. What's happening in January?
Nothing. You can miss all those releases.
Anyway, we have a bit of a different setup for you today. We're answering that age-old question. What's better, or I guess what's worse probably is more interesting.
Yeah.
The Star Wars prequels or the Star Wars sequels? And specifically, we're talking about the films. So no Clone Wars, no Mandalorian, none of the extra stuff. Although that's probably some of the best stuff.
I mean, that's the redeeming quality of those.
Ooh.
I think that's time.
Yeah, that's the official start of the podcast, y'all. I should probably just preface this when we get into this, and I mentioned earlier that I am like probably the most casual fan out of the three people sitting at this table here, which is really, I feel like I'm the common man's perspective in today's debate.
That's interesting.
I don't know. I'm pretty common.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're common.
I thought you were... Wait, do you mean in Star Wars, or do you mean just
Oh,
in
no, I
general?
just meant in general.
Oh,
I'm pretty
okay.
common.
I was like, I thought you were a pretty big Star Wars fan.
No, yeah, I know. I don't
But you
know.
are pretty mediocre as a person.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's true.
I'm just talking about my averageness.
Very mid.
Mid-height, everything.
Yeah.
No, I know probably just... You probably know more than I do. I'd say Brandon might know the most.
Maybe.
He does. He knows a lot of the extended universe stuff.
Yeah.
I would say I'm average in this as well.
Interesting.
Average
Okay,
in
cool.
knowledge. Average in every way.
How exciting. Let's get this average adventure.
Yeah, let's see where we end up here. So we have 20 categories, 20 elements of film. And what we're going to do is we're going to give a 5-star rating. They don't have to be stars, I guess. A 5 Womp Rat rating to each category, and at the end we will mathematically decide which is better. I should throw out that I think already there is a bias against the prequels on the show. I just need to make that. Want to be transparent.
But at this point, is it worse than the sequel?
That's the question we're asking today.
That's
You know?
what we're going to find out.
It's like we should have a show about it.
Yeah. Meta. Okay, here we go. So the first category here, and this falls under plot, is the story arc. I think this is beautiful for a trilogy. I think we should consider these as a trilogy as a whole. Yes, we can focus on one movie, but we gotta treat it as a unit. And I gotta say, I think the story arc in the prequels is better.
Much better.
Yeah.
They're not a rehash.
No, they're not a rehash at all.
That really is the biggest problem with the sequels
Yeah.
is the amount of rehash.
And I would say there's almost no arc in the sequels.
There's almost no creativity in the sequels.
Oh yeah, that too. That's totally fair.
Yeah, I don't think creativity is a category. Or no, it's like a
Originality.
yeah,
Oh,
originality.
okay. Well, then,
The
yeah,
fancy
I know
names.
that score.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get to it. But no, yeah, I'd have to agree with you guys. The story arcs, like, at least there is an arc,
Yeah.
and it is, you can follow it.
Now, I will say this though, the story arc for the prequels definitely isn't perfect.
No.
And arguably, the first movie almost serves no purpose to the arc. If you really think about it, you can not even watch Phantom Menace, just jump into Attack of the Clones, which would be terrible. But
You'd probably be more satisfied.
you'll get the arc. You know what I mean? You'll see Anakin transform, his relationship with Obi-Wan, with Padme. In the first one, I mean...
But how are you going to watch Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn stumble into discovering the guy who would tear, like, the Force in half? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's interesting.
and
right?
you'd miss out on Watto.
And you miss out on Jake Lloyd. You
And
know what I mean?
Sebulba.
And Sebulba, yeah. And those
Hey, but you gotta admit, pod racing.
Pod racing's pretty
kinda
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what
you're gonna miss a lot of talk about trade federations. You know what I mean?
it's true.
Yeah. What about all the diplomacy?
Yeah.
What about all the Darth Maul for the 30% of the film that he's in?
Well, the only Darth Maul, really. If you're only talking about movies, that's it.
in the entire Star
yeah.
Wars saga versus the shows.
Yeah, exactly. Which is maybe another, notch against the story arc of the prequels, is it feels like there's not really a central villain. I mean, yes, obviously the Emperor's the baddie.
But you got Count Dooku.
But like General Grievous shows up in one movie and dies. Count Dooku's in the second movie and then dies right at the beginning of the third movie.
General Kenobi.
Yeah, and then hello there. And then you have Darth Maul, who's maybe it's just so sad. He could have been so much cooler in the movie.
I feel like at least this is a little bit of a tangent, but there should at least be another category for memeability.
Memeability.
And look at where the prequel is, and look at how many memes can you think of this from the sequel?
Yeah, I will say that the prequel memes are much stronger.
The only sequel one I can think about is Luke Skywalker with blue milk all over his face.
I haven't
That's
even
it.
seen that meme.
No, I don't think I've seen that either.
There is one meme of Kylo Ren when he's saying like, I know what I must
more!
do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. I've seen that in a lot of funny situations, but
Okay, I can think of 3 from the sequel. I can think of like 9 from the prequel.
oh, the prequel is like almost infinite memes. There's like every line could be a meme.
A galaxy of memes.
Yeah. But, I don't know if that's always a positive when every line in your movie sounds like a meme. So, okay, well, let's give them the points. So, story arc, what do you guys think for the prequels?
Okay, so this is interesting because it might not be like so much of a runaway. Because for the prequel, I'd probably have to give the story arc 3 stars.
You know what? I was feeling 3 too.
Yeah.
I can feel 3.
Let's do 3.
I was gonna
solid
go
3 out
like
of
get
5.
optimistic and go 4, but it's not that it's better. It's
no.
Yeah.
Well, it is
Well,
better.
it's like better, but it's the fact that the bar is so low.
It's better because the bar's in the middle. For
Yeah, exactly, right? Okay, well, sequels, I'm going to say 1 star.
yeah,
I don't know how you guys feel about that.
the story is beyond stupid.
Maybe 2 just for like some interesting stuff with Kylo Ren. But other than that, there's almost no cohesion between any of those. No, I take that back. 1 star.
Yeah,
If you guys are down with 1 star.
there's no
I
cohesion.
am fine with giving the sequels 1 star for plot.
I think what leads to that 1 star in the sequel is that there's so much there were potentials, to go into good places, and they just dropped the ball on every part.
Yeah. And then it's just, that's a big deal for sure. Okay, well, the next category would be plausibility. Talking about the plot in particular. And I know...
Pretty far-fetched.
I was going to say, I know plausibility, sounds silly when you're talking about Star Wars, but plausibility in the sense that is the story make sense within the universe?
Within the film's realm.
And I guess in this particular case, we should really say like the universe being the original Star Wars movies, right? That's where these things branch off from. What is the plausibility of these other 2 stories compared to the Star Wars universe that existed? You know what I mean?
Now, I feel like I'm going to give a pretty low score to the prequels for this one. It might be lower than the sequels for me. Just because there's a ton of stuff that doesn't make sense in the prequels. In the prequels within the Star Wars universe.
For sure.
Just they get caught by surprise on so many things, and there's so many secrets, and nobody senses this in the Force
Palpatine
like any of the
was
time.
evil the entire time?
You'd really have to like... It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, we can sense the dark side. We can sense like people dying who are Force sensitive or all these things. But we can't sense like when we're talking to Palpatine that he's the most evil Force in the universe.
And
Yeah.
Padme has a double that no one knows about.
Yeah, who's also Keira Knightley. Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah.
Or like when Padme and Anakin are hiding their relationship, but they're like living together in the city.
Yeah.
And like nobody has any suspicions, including Yoda himself.
You would think that Yoda could just see into Anakin's heart. You know what I mean? Like through his mind.
Or tell that Padme's hiding a pregnancy.
Yeah. Like all these things just don't really make a lot of sense there. Also,
They get snuck on by that big old fish when they're in the little boat.
There's always a bigger fish.
I think there's some plausibility with like technology too, being so far advanced.
Way further in advance.
when you compare it to the other ones, but then also you do have the fall of like civilization, kind of.
I guess so. Yeah.
True.
So it's sort of makes sense.
Yeah, and then in the sequels, it feels like there's not even a jump in technology. There's like a little jump, but then they just like
They play it pretty close.
and then they rehash. Well, I mean, the plausibility of them making another Death Star is real stupid.
Yeah.
Death Star Part 2.
Well, and then the real plausibility issues come up in Rise of Skywalker, where they're like the Death Star Star Destroyers, and there's like thousands of them that are on this planet that no one's ever heard of before. And then
Damn.
Palpatine's alive again, and like it just starts stacking up, especially in that one.
Now I'm really starting to think we're going to end up with 2 pretty low scores. Because now that I think about it, yeah, there's a lot
We're
of
not going to be
there.
high up there.
Yeah, it's like massive Death Stars, Metachlorians.
I'm not going to poop on Metachlorians that hard. I actually think it's
wow.
okay.
Really?
I think it's okay. I don't see... It's better than everything going on in the sequels.
Oh, okay. Well,
In the most part.
I can see what you're saying as far as plausibility. I'm trying to think of anything else that just seems so. I mean, there's a lot of plausibility issues in General Grievous too. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how did he kill this many Jedis? How come they don't just like force push him into a wall until he's dead?
How come they don't just rip him apart? He's a machine.
Yeah.
In the prequels, it seems like there's a ton of Jedis who just kind of suck at their jobs. Like a lot of these
Yeah.
guys goes down very easily.
They get slain super easy in like a coliseum.
Oh, and another big plausibility problem, the death of Darth Maul, the way he just stands there and watches Obi-Wan do a flip over him, looks
Yeah.
at him like, oh, and then he slices him in half.
Yeah.
It's true. He had the high ground.
He had the high ground.
Should have had that under control.
And no one knew about Camino.
Yeah, no one was like very hesitant about the soldiers.
Yeah.
Let's just take this army that was prepared for us that none of us have ever heard of before. That's a dumb decision.
They're essentially robots.
Don't worry, they're clones. We've stripped them of their free will. They're ready to go for you guys.
They don't have the story about the Trojan horse in that universe, though. So
I guess
how could
that's
they have
true.
known, David?
I guess it hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Unsullied fear no one.
Okay, I mean,
Unexpected Game of Thrones.
2 for the prequels.
For the prequels, a 2 out of
Plausibility?
5. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah,
I
2.
feel pretty good about it too.
Okay, what about the sequels? What do you think, Danny?
Is 0 possible?
I don't know. I don't think we should go 0.
No, I'll go 1.
1, okay. I'm honestly trying to decide, is one more or less plausible than the other? They're just so unplausible in many different ways. It's hard to like keep track of it.
It's hard to keep it within a frame of reality because we don't live in that reality.
You know what? I'll go with the 1 because of that stupid decision. I think it's in the second of the sequels where they have that bomber and they have to fly over this other ship to drop the bombs,
Oh my God.
but they're in space. You know what I mean?
Damn, David, ignoring gravity, that's a pretty big plot hole.
Yeah, there's no ignoring gravity in the prequels. You got to give him that.
I have to give you that. I will concede a 1 over here on the
Wow.
sequels. Damn. That's pretty upsetting.
Okay, so the next category here, and these are from Medium. The next category has to do with attraction. The next 2 categories. So the first one is premise, in the sense of like the pitch, the trailer. Is it enticing? The premise.
I feel like we were all more likely to get suckered in the first time around because we were all very,
Yeah.
very young when the prequels were released. So obviously we were super hyped.
See fanboys.
I think you got to go 5 for the prequels.
Yeah.
There was so much hype. I mean,
The bar couldn't have been higher.
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
They had only put out a stellar trilogy at this point. It had been years since anything had come out that was like worthwhile.
Everyone was a bit optimistic but hesitant on the sequels, and for good measure.
You know, I gotta say, I wasn't hesitant at all. I was down. I thought the trailers for the sequels were great.
They sold it well.
The trailers were beautiful.
And I guess I should say, out of all of them, like the first one back, Force Awakens, is probably the best one in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's just a rehash of the first of New Hope.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say 5 and 5. I don't know. I feel like you can't stop the hype of Star Wars. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Now,
Yeah.
subsequent movies, I don't know. You know, it actually maybe, to be fair, the sequels should get 4. Because even
because we are talking about the trilogies as a whole.
yeah, Revenge of the Sith was still pretty excited. Like people were excited.
It was good.
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of people back then who didn't like it too, but they were all just 40, so they weren't us. That's the issue.
I also feel like the hype increased incrementally with the prequels because of Attack of the Clones. Like it was like, okay, that was much better. Maybe the third one will be even better.
Oh, I don't know. I thought Attack of the Clones is like the worst Star Wars.
Oh,
movie.
man.
That is but anyway,
Worse than Episode 1?
yeah, for sure.
Huh.
There's no pod racing.
Well, that's true. There's no waddle.
Yeah, there is not the saving graces there.
And there's so much more sand in the second one.
David hates sand.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of sexual tension in that
Yeah, well,
on one side.
yeah, on one side I was going to say is like
There's a lot of incel territory.
man, I don't know. This feels conflicted for me now. This feels very conflicted.
I would say higher, definitely higher for the prequels.
Okay, how about 5 and 4 then? How about 5
and 4 on the hype trains?
Yeah, let's do
You know,
it.
there's people that actually really love the sequels too.
Yeah.
You know, the Resident Evil people.
I was going to say, there's people who like a lot of different movies. That doesn't necessarily make them right about anything.
Oh, I have them in that box.
Okay, so the next one's entertainment value. The balance between tension, action, and anticipation to keep us amused from the title sequence to the end credits. I'll say this. I was 8 years old when Phantom Menace came out. I was beyond excited to watch it, and I fell asleep in the theater.
I was just gonna say that I was bored to hell.
That's kind of the point I was going to make. The prequels trilogy is going to lose a lot from the very first movie because it was so slow and we had to deal with all the like crazy parliamentary procedural stuff and
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It opens up on trade tariffs.
Yeah.
Like, it opens up on
That's how we
blockades.
start that journey.
Yeah.
And it's a movie for kids.
Yeah, it's a movie for kids, and the first 10 minutes are talking about non-existent intergalactic trade.
We didn't even know what NAFTA was at that age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and have to side higher with the extremely Hollywoodized sequels.
Well, that's the thing. They're entertaining.
Yeah,
They're made to be entertaining.
they're
You
big
know
and
what I mean?
dumb.
Yeah, they're big and dumb.
And you know what?
Exactly.
I've seen all the sequels and I don't think I fell asleep during those movies, which is saying a lot.
That is saying a lot for Frank. Yeah, so I gotta say, prequel. I'm gonna say 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know people are gonna totally disagree with this because there's a lot of diehard prequel fans, but
I could see that definitely. I would say 1 also because you know you could probably splice through all of the exciting moments of the entire prequels and put it in like a 20-minute video.
oh, well, you know what's funny? Like, I think it's Topher Grace has made a 2-hour edit of the Star Wars trilogy, the sequels. No, wait, I might be getting
Of the
this mixed
sequels or
up.
the prequels?
I think he did it for the Hobbit films.
Oh,
Topher Grace made an edit of like editing together the 3 Hobbit films in a 2-hour movie.
so much better. I bet.
Which probably but you could never watch it. You know what I mean? That's the only problem.
Oh,
Because like, how do you can't sell that? You can't just like put it on the internet.
Yeah, it's
so he
unfortunate.
just tells people that he did it?
It was just the thing on the internet a while back. It was like Topher Grace. I mean, I guess he did, right? He must have been like, hey guys,
I don't know if I trust Topher Grace that much.
hey, he did such a great Venom role.
Someone could come up and be like, I have spliced all 9 Star Wars films into a 30-minute video that is just super enticing.
I don't think you could do all 9 in 30 minutes.
Nah.
That'd be cramming a lot.
Yeah.
You would lose a lot of points in plot.
Okay, so I don't know, entertainment value. Yeah, how about 2? How about 2 for the prequels? There are some entertaining things.
I was going to say
there's
that the
pod
third
racing.
one's going to... Yeah, the pod racing's fun.
Yeah.
The third one's going to bring it up just a bit.
You get some fighting.
Let's get that prequel at
I mean,
2.
Darth Maul puts up the points himself.
Yeah, that's true. Darth Maul's pretty sweet.
There are certain elements that definitely put the team on their back and carried those trilogy
Memeability.
just a little bit.
Memeability.
I mean,
that's where memeability comes
Certainly
into play here.
memeability.
Okay.
If anything, it's aged like fine wine.
Well, you know, the only reason there's so many memes is because everyone who's like 20 years old making memes watched the prequels when they were little kids.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Checks out.
It's so dumb. Okay, sequels though. 3?
Yeah, I mean, they're average.
Maybe no.
Maybe 4.
Maybe 4.
I could see 4.
I would give it a 4. I got to give it that extra point just for not putting me to sleep way any other movie does after 10 p.m.
Yeah, and we saw most of those like at midnight.
And
so
they're
that's
at least
pretty impressive.
They're at least 2 hours.
Yeah, they're usually
long boys.
over 2 hours. For Frank not to fall asleep through those, that is mighty impressive.
They definitely have action.
Yeah,
You know, they've
they
definitely
have
got
good set pieces.
tons of CGI. So.
Maybe they don't make sense all the time, but
I don't remember these tongues of CGI.
Yeah.
I was watching the wrong Star Wars.
Woo. Okay, so next up we have theme, everyone, and the first one is identity.
We're not doing like Under the Sea. Or like
I'm pretty sure they both start with the same theme song.
I'm pretty sure that's in episode 1 with the fish and the Jar Jar. That's Under the Sea.
With the fish and the Jar Jar.
So we're talking about score, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, wait.
Are we talking about like
No,
plot
theme,
themes?
like the theme of the film.
Okay.
Yeah. Or that didn't answer the question. I just said it a different way.
Yeah.
Theme. The theme of the. But you got what I was saying.
Yeah. It weirdly did work.
You sold it with chutzpah.
This is a random story, but one time when I was in high school, the debate coach asked me, "Hey, could you host like the what do they call it? Like it's like a pageant."
Miss Teen USA?
Yeah, but it was like the Hanks one. I'm sure you guys had this
Talent show?
Not
ours
a
was
talent
like
show.
a beauty pageant?
Like a beauty pageant.
Oh,
Weird.
no, we didn't have that.
We had one for guys and for girls. There was one called Hank's Hunk where it was like the guys and they had to like have a talent and then like answer questions on stage.
Ours
and there was
were
one for the girls.
Mr. and Mrs. Franklin.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there we go. So we had a Mrs. Hanks or whatever, Miss Hanks. And he asked me to host it one time. And I was like, oh, sure. You know what I mean? So I was just like reading these categories and he was like, okay, some of these girls aren't the smartest. Is what he told me.
Oof.
And he was like,
Wow.
he was like, some of these girls aren't the smartest, okay? So if they ask you to repeat the question or if they ask you to say the question in a different way, you don't change the way you say it. You just say it again, but just at a different pace and it'll make sense.
Interesting.
And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, so like if you ask someone, what's your favorite kind of flower? And they're like, I don't understand the question. You say, okay, what's your favorite kind of flower?
It's about emphasis.
It's just all about emphasis. You just got to change the emphasis a little bit.
Oh.
And you'll be fine. Okay.
I mean, proof's in the pudding. It worked right now.
There we go. So you people at home, if you ever find yourself hosting some sort of pageantry,
His sexism was onto something.
well, you know what? It wasn't even sexism though. Like he would just always roast people, like the ladies and the gents.
I enjoy people like that.
Yeah. Good man. Good man. Maybe a bit inappropriate to say to a high school student that when you're a teacher. Anyway, so where are we at here? I'm totally
We're
thrown
on
off.
identity.
Identity. What is the theme of the prequels?
Whining.
Yeah.
Well, here's the issue.
Capitalism?
The original trilogy has a very strong theme. It's like fathers and sons, good versus evil,
The hero's journey.
the hero's journey. I don't know if either the prequels or the sequel really have a theme.
I mean, I think it's like the hero's journey gone wrong. You know what I mean?
It's like the villain's journey in the prequels.
Or
see
the
that.
villain's fall.
Yeah, the hero's
The fall
The
from
fun-
grace.
Yeah, I think that's what it.
Except your hero's is really annoying.
God.
Yeah, what if Satan was like super annoying? That's essentially the
Little
entire-
Nicky. Oh, no, he wasn't Satan yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be hard pressed to find. I shouldn't say that. There's probably a bunch of themes you could pull out.
The problem is they try to put too much into the sequels. There's so much going on. Or in the prequels.
On the prequels?
And then the
No.
sequels,
Well, they both have a
they
lot.
like try to cover too much of the universe. You know
A
what
lot
I
of
mean?
it's just
Yeah.
like family matters.
They're cramming
Not
a
the
lot of
show,
stuff in.
but
Well, you know what? I think the sequels do have a theme of family. That's like literally
yeah.
what it is. It's like evolving relationships throughout a family.
your place of birth. I mean, like status of birth, not
Your
meaning-
place too.
Yeah,
Like
your place in
what's
the
your
world.
role? That's a big theme of the sequels.
Yeah.
The prequels have a theme of like, don't get complacent with giant groups of authority.
And corporations. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Authority, essentially. Yeah.
It's very political. It's very kind of like Roman sort of,
Yeah.
like a
I could see that.
like a Greek tragedy or
Fall
something.
Caesar kind of
Yeah,
thing.
Fall Caesar sort of thing.
Instead of like all the senators gathering around Caesar, it's just Anakin versus a bunch of
Younglings. Stabbing them.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I think I got to give theme to a sequel this time around. With I'm going to suggest a 4-star. I can easily identify the theme, and the theme is explored moderately well, I would say.
It's at the very least easier to identify.
Yeah.
Because they knock you on the head with it.
Yeah, that is true. That is a good way to get the theme home.
There you go.
Hey, stupid.
So a 4 for the sequels. A
2?
2?
I was thinking 2 also.
Nice.
We should just start saying the numbers at the same time.
That is
I like
fun.
that.
There we
Everybody
go.
pick a note, and that's how
Yeah.
we'll do it to distinguish our. Oh, well, David definitely said 3, and you were a little flat.
So we're not agreeing with you then. Okay, the last one is intrigue, or not the last one, sorry, but under theme intrigue is the theme intriguing.
Does it make us think?
If we can't identify them right away, we should be able to intuitively experience their effects.
I would have to give. I'm just going to jump out straight to score on this one. I'd have to give the prequels a 1 on this one, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah,
We
it's not-
struggled with it
Not
right
much
now.
to think about, yeah.
No.
And even once you get there, it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the themes are not explicitly like laying out well. And if anything, it's just bogged down by everything they're trying to do.
And I got to say, a sequel, let's go 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not terribly intriguing. Yeah, it's there, but it's pretty by the book.
I'd say it dwindled over time. Because
Yeah.
there was a lot of intrigue after the first one. Then the second one came out and no one cared about what happens going on in the third one.
That really did kill the momentum for the
momentum,
third
yeah.
one, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the next big category is acting. And the first one is characters. Okay. And this is more specifically the character that we're talking about. Not necessarily the portrayal of the character, because that's the next category. But the characters themselves. Are they interesting?
I mean, Anakin is a giant crybaby, so I'm just going to put in the prequel. I'd say a 2, to be honest.
A 2? Ooh.
ooh.
I mean, but you do have...
I'm
have
trying to think of like who would save the score.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, like
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan's got it.
Yeah.
Darth Maul,
Qui-Gon.
even Qui-Gon.
Yoda. Mace Windu's kind of a dud.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
He was there.
Padme's a dud, too.
Padme's a dud.
Jango Fett.
Jar Jar.
Headless dud. Oh, God. Actually, I agree with your 2 now.
You know, there's too many bad characters.
You can never forget
Yeah.
about
Wait,
Jar Jar.
they even found out a way to make like Count Dooku, the actor, not interesting.
Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I mean?
It takes a lot to make
Sir Christopher something.
Christopher Lee
Christopher Lee,
uninteresting.
uninteresting. The dude's a super interesting guy.
Yeah.
and a knight.
And a knight and a metalhead.
Yeah. And a Nazi killer.
Exactly. And they made him so boring on screen.
Yeah.
His
They
name's
made him
Count
incredibly
Dooku.
We'll say bonus points for the Emperor, though. I do love the Emperor in the
Yeah.
prequels. And
Yeah, how it comes
evil
together.
he is.
That makes sense for your character.
Yeah. Deuce, a 2 here. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as the sequels go, maybe a 2 also. Maybe it's a tie.
It's hard.
You know what? They're all bland. All the new
Yeah.
characters are bland.
I guess Rey is the only character worth caring about.
Yeah, Rey's pretty cool. Well, I like Kylo Ren a lot. I know people hate
do
on
like
Kylo
Kylo
Ren. I think he's like the same kind of character as Anakin.
Yeah.
But not as annoying.
No, because he actually does, he actually puts up the talk. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he does. That's true.
Yeah, he leads a pretty like vicious campaign to like his rise of power.
He does love fascism.
And you know what? Like Poe and Finn, I think are both pretty bland characters, but they're not as bad as the sequels.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They're not as much a caricature, kind of.
So a 3.
I think a 3 because we also have like Maz Kanata. Who cares about her?
Oh,
You got Jurassic Park lady.
you got BB-8.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
BB-8's
that too. Yeah.
To be honest, I never remember the character, the Jurassic Park lady. It's like
Sure,
whole-
BB
Laura
is
Dern?
cute, but
Well, Laura
what her
Dern,
name
what her
is?
name is in Star Wars.
She's only in like 1, isn't she?
It's like Hodor, maybe.
Hodo.
Okay. Anyway, it's close. I'm serious. It's really close to Hodor. It's like Holfdor or something. Or,
Hoff Doran or something.
yeah, Horflin. It probably isn't. Okay, performance though. This is where the sequel gets a big fat one. I think the performances are some of the worst performances maybe ever.
You didn't find Carrie Fisher to give a riveting performance?
No, I'm talking about the prequels.
Holdo.
Oh, to the
Holdo.
prequels.
Holdo. What did I tell you?
Yeah, it's one letter short.
One letter short.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was really on that.
And she's essentially pulling a Hodor that whole movie.
She's
like,
sacrificing herself.
We got the blockade.
Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry. I thought you said the sequels, but no, I would have to agree with you. The acting in the prequels is god awful.
It's so
I mean,
bad.
that's a meme.
Yeah, that is a meme.
All of the acting.
I hate you.
I mean, literally, the person carrying that trilogy on their shoulders is like Ewan McGregor.
And the only guy who's managing, well, there's a couple good, he's a great performance. I think the Ian McKellen, the guy who plays, no, it's not.
No,
Ian
not Ian McKellen.
That's Gandalf.
Christopher
No,
Lee.
the guy who plays the Emperor. It's something. It's close.
I don't know the actor's name.
But he has a great performance. But even like Liam Neeson's kind of what Qui-Gon's all right. You know what I mean? How do you make Natalie Portman turn in such a bad performance though? That's pretty
You just
incredible.
like ruin her character. You make her like a strong queen at the beginning, and by the end of it, she's like a brittle, like codependent senator.
Yeah,
that's true.
You just ruin her character.
Ugh. Of course, we don't have to get into the Jar Jar thing. We all know how bad that is.
Oof.
Actually, Jango Fett's pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? That actor is great.
He's cool, and he comes back.
And he comes back.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
He has a pretty good performance. Yeah, still though, one.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it doesn't
bads are
stack
too
up,
big here.
honestly.
Okay, the sequels, I think, actually, and this is a big point for me. I think the sequels have pretty good performances generally.
Oscar Isaac is great.
Yeah, he's great. He's got his character has nothing to do, but he plays the
whenever
role
he's
really
on
well.
screen though. It's good. Yeah.
Adam Driver's got great emotional
Adam
moments.
Driver. Who's the guy that plays? It's not. It's like Donald something. You know, he's one of the
Donald
admirals.
Glover?
Not Donald.
Domhnall Gleeson.
Yes.
Yeah, he plays one of the Nazis.
Yes. Essentially, yeah. He's real good though.
Yeah, he's great. He's so angry and upset. I like the Snoke performance. I think it's really creepy, and that's
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
And even Harrison Ford does a good job.
Yeah, Harrison Ford has got some of the best scenes he's had in decades.
And he was just there for the paycheck.
Yeah, and he's just there. He did most of it like sitting in his trailer, like in a big comfy chair, and then they just CGI'd him.
That's
They green
just for
screened him
the safety of the newer crew members. You know what I mean?
Actually, I gotta give it to Mark Hamill too. He did pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Very great.
You know what? One of the most well acted scenes I think in that whole trilogy, the
The
sequels.
like standoff.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great one
I love
too.
that scene.
But also, and this is one people hate, is when Luke is like evil in that flashback and he's going to kill Kylo Ren. But you can see like all the emotion just in Mark Hamill's eyes. There's no dialogue at all.
Yeah.
But man, and that guy should have had a bigger career in acting, anyways.
Mark Hamill's dope.
He's got so many great voice roles. But
Well, they probably would have given him a lot of jobs if he hadn't have broken his face.
okay, so let's say a number together for the sequels. Here we go. Ready? And four.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Because there's now that we like look back on it like retrospectively, there's actually some solid performances.
Yeah, they're really good. I mean, it's the more the writing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not the actor's fault that the writers did what they did.
And speaking of which, next category is storytelling.
Hey.
Storytelling.
We're coming for you, writers.
And this is specifically about dialogue.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh my
all right.
God. Is there an inherent goodness in how bad a dialogue can be if it's savored because of its comedy?
No,
Only if it's like
Intentional?
a low budget movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's a good point.
They are bloated budgets in the first one.
there's way too much money spent on the prequels for the dialogue to be as bad as it is.
That's true.
And it's not even just like the dialogue is all around bad, you know what I mean? But also information is just dumped on you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Exposition.
Yeah, none of it is clever at all. It's just blatantly metachlorians. What are these? And then
It's like, wait a minute, your explanation for the entire universe was in
Yeah.
like half a sentence?
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes it's just that simple.
But then I think the sequels might be equally as guilty as this, where they're just moving from plot point to plot
for
point,
sure.
and they're like,
jetpacking like crazy.
We just got to get this, and this is if we go to this cantina and we get this lightsaber, and then it just never stops.
They were banking on us not asking questions because we were supposed to be like, oh my god, it's Star Wars, take my money. But they weren't counting on us asking all these questions.
But does this like go hand in hand with the performance, because it is based on the dialogue, or it could be like part of the actors making their own.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It definitely can, but I think more specifically for this, it's how does the dialogue propel the story forward? Is it in a clever way? Is it in like a well-crafted manner,
or is it super blatant and overbearing?
Yeah.
Dang, especially in that third one.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like some of the earlier ones might have been a bit more clever.
Yeah,
because there were some scenes where we get a lot of information through the dialogue, especially like thinking like episode 7.
Yeah,
Daisy Ridley's selling that stuff to Simon Pegg in that giant alien costume, and he's telling her like, this is how many you're going to get, how many portions you can get. We get a lot of information from that scene. Like we learn all about her circumstance, but not with them saying like, oh, Anakin, oh, he's that little poor boy. He's a slave owned by Watto, and his mother, she's a slave too. If only there was some way we could save them.
They probably wouldn't keep me around if I wasn't so good at building things.
Yeah. Look at this droid. I built it all on my own. I'm a pod racer. I'm going to win big one day.
I hate sand.
I hate sand.
There's like that scene.
I have the high ground.
From my perspective, the Jedi are evil.
God, there's that scene in episode 1 where Anakin's in that like little fighter jet, you know what I mean? And he like doesn't know how to work it and he's ruining everything. And he's like, yeah, this is pod racing.
Yeah. And then in that same scene, I think he's like, I'll try spinning. That's a good trick.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
While driving head on into a bunch of TIE fighters.
Okay, so 1 for the prequels.
It's so heavy-handed.
1 for the prequels. It's so stupid, man.
I forgot like how hard they tried to put like nuance into everything, and it just didn't happen.
No nuance.
0 nuance. I'm trying to think of anything else in the sequels. I mean, I think there are some nuanced scenes in the sequels. You got Han Solo and Kylo Ren's last conversation. You know what I mean? Of course, you have a lot of it that's butchered for sure too. But the good moments are pretty great.
You have the mystery of like Kylo Ren and Rey's relationship.
Yeah, it's true too.
Yeah.
Whether it's explicit or not, you know what I mean? Are they romantic? Are they family? You don't know the entire time, really. And
a lot of times, a lot of their conversations are left very open-ended, where we don't really know what really is Kylo Ren's perspective here. You know what I mean?
And if they are family, are they going to be super Star Wars about it and make them kiss?
Are they going to be super Game of Thrones about it?
Oh no!
Hey, that's not good. This is a PG-rated podcast. Okay, number together
for the sequels.
For the sequels,
for dialogue.
Ready
for dialogue and the plot.
3.
Oh, I thought you guys were counting down. I also agree with 3. Then that's what I was going to say. Okay, awesome. We're going through here. Okay, here's the next thing. Context. This is again about the dialogue. And similar to plausibility is, does these dialogue... I said this wrong and then I went with it. Does these dialogue...
stumbled into an accent.
I thought you were doing like a character.
Yeah, I was trying to sell it off as, but I couldn't go any further with it. Does this dialogue...
Do these kids...
Does it reach these kids? Essentially, yeah. Does the dialogue reach the audience? You know what I mean? Does it feel in context for the universe? Or does Obi-Wan sitting in a 50s diner talking to a giant alien in an apron, does that feel out of context? You know what I mean? But dialogue-wise, yeah. What do you guys think? I mean, this bothers me because first off, why does everyone have British accents? Like, why does Obi-Wan got a British accent? You got to look past it, I guess.
I would say there's a lot more old-timey... I guess words or vernacular, for a better word, in the prequels. You know what I mean? Because it's like so political. Language. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But it fits that context because it's like, the capital of the Republic. And
it
also
would be all hoity-toity.
The Jedi speak in a way, they speak like space wizards. You know what I mean? They speak the way you think they would.
In platitudes.
Yeah.
They speak like yoga instructors, like a
Exactly.
conglomerate of yoga
Aligning your
instructors.
chakras.
But then at the same time, you have little Jake Lloyd literally saying "Yippee!" which
Are you
blows
telling me
the
that didn't
context
reach you, David?
it felt out of context for me. To be honest, didn't nail that one.
That's
down
gonna
for
be
me.
a no for you, dog.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about the sequels.
Do they pull you out of the moment from their context?
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to look at it.
Sometimes, I mean, there's the infamous "they fly now" moment.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's ever really gone.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
nobody's ever really gone.
Yikes. Except for Leia, she actually died.
Maybe they were talking about us. They were like, no matter how bad we screw this up, you'll be back.
You'll still be here. Let's not act like you're not going to show up.
Star Wars never really dies.
You know, I kind of feel like a tie on this one, or if anything, maybe the prequels.
I would hand it more to the prequels. to
They
be
they might
honest.
edge out over it.
So we were talking like a 2 and a 1.
I would say so. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah?
keep the math easy,
Right?
Yeah.
Why not?
We're handed it to it, but not by much.
No.
Another close, unfun to watch race.
Okay, next up is cinematography. Okay, and the first one is visual language. This is talking about like shot selection. This is camera work, angles that are chosen, the artistry, the vistas. So many vistas. This is the artistry of the movie. You know, I'll start off by saying I think the sequels. This might be one of its strongest settings.
Yep.
The visual language of the movie's great.
It's beautiful.
You have like Rey and Kylo Ren fighting on that destroyed Death Star.
Yeah.
With the waves crashing over him. Even though people hate it, I think Palpatine's reveal at the beginning of 9 is really cool. It's like very old school horror.
Oh yeah, with the
You know,
lightning and all that.
And he's like cast in shadow and everything.
Yeah.
You can't see his decrepit face.
And even like the set locations, like you're talking about, like with the island that Luke's been on and stuff like that.
Beautiful island.
Pretty awesome.
I feel like visually the sequels are closer to the original trilogies than the prequels are.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Totally.
although everything looks way crisper and everything because technology advances, like all the vistas and all the hardware in it and everything, it harkens back to the originals a lot more.
And they did rely a lot on like location.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
actually went places as opposed to
Green screen.
green screen, which just looks so like sanitized and everything looks like it's never been touched before in the prequels.
It all looks like it's out of a 2001 Xbox game.
Oh yeah, especially when you go to Coruscant, it's very like generic
Polygony.
third person shooter or something. Yeah. Do you guys remember
It looks like
Advent
or I was thinking Time Splitters.
Time Splitters? Yeah. Have you guys ever played Advent Rising before?
No.
Oh wow, it looks exactly like Coruscant. I don't know why that game popped in my head, but
If anything, it helped the video game franchises that came off of the prequels because it looks just like the movie. You know, it's all
Yeah.
green screen.
that's true. It really helped out. It really helped with the game development. They actually just ported the file over.
Exactly.
They're like, okay, we're done. We're done.
Easy
Let's
enough.
call it a day.
Let's put some polygon characters in here.
You know, guys, I'm gonna say I'm gonna argue for the first mega split. Where I would say the sequels get 5 Womp Rats and
man.
the prequels get 1 Womp Rat.
There's no denying that it was a really picturesque sequel. Like all of the shots are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really well made movies.
No, I feel like that's a very fair rating.
Wow, the first 5. Give us some gunshots.
Okay, so in editing, you just got to replace it with like a pew 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 pew.
Yeah, Spectrum had an outage today, so I didn't get to customize our soundboard the way I would have liked. But you won't be able to tell because I'll fix it in post.
Oh, there we go. What a bummer, though, man. What a bummer.
Hate Spectrum.
All I want to do is have fun with sounds.
Okay, the next one is lighting, setting, and wardrobe. So let me see here. This is the lighting telling us how they feel, the setting telling us where we are, and the wardrobe telling us who the characters are.
Gonna have to hand it to the sequels on this one.
Yeah, I would say easily. Although, like, I guess lava can like allude to like anger. I guess I'll give him that one scene.
I think the only thing I'm going to give props to the prequels for is the costumes. I think there are some really nice costumes.
Yeah.
Especially
Classic Halloween costumes.
classic Halloween costumes.
Truth.
You got the iconic clone troopers, which are just stormtroopers.
You
but
got Darth
they're their own
Maul.
thing. Darth Maul. You really get to see the Jedi robes. You know what I mean? You get to see all the different fashionable robes.
Fake Padme's crazy hair.
Yeah, and Padme's many outfit changes throughout the trilogy.
True.
There's some
When
really good
she's-
ones.
Amidala.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Amygdala.
Well, that's just her last name. I think she's always Amidala.
Oh, yeah. Well, when she's in royal garb.
Yes, when she's not
Pulling a
rocking
charade.
the midriff in the desert.
I mean, this kind of goes to like what we're saying in general with the sequels, just like they are of quality,
Yeah,
but it's just like
the
story.
substance.
Yeah, like the story.
There's a lot
It's
of
like watching a really beautiful, dumb movie.
there's a lot of gleam and shimmer.
Like if Dude, Where's My Car had like a $300 million budget.
If they had used
Wow.
real ostriches.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise or something. The two guys.
Man, we might be cooking with something there.
Okay, how about a score for the sequels? Okay, score for the sequels.
I'm gonna go ahead. And
4.
Nice.
I was still thinking.
Sorry.
But yeah, I'd be good with 4 for the sequels.
Yeah.
How about prequels? A
3?
2. Okay, I could do 3.
I could say 3.
I
I'm
could do 3.
gonna say 3 because, like you were saying, it's memorable.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's very memorable. And there's a couple of really cool looking planets like Camino and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much that informs us of
El Camino, actually.
the story, but
It's definitely unique.
it's definitely unique. Yeah,
It
you gotta get points
expands
there.
the universe, whereas the third one doesn't really expand the
No,
universe.
That's
No.
a huge nod for the prequels. There's a lot of information that has made Star Wars rich and plentiful.
because people got to rewrite things in the fan base to like make it better.
Okay, so the next one, and this is a weird one, editing.
Well,
Pace
shoot.
and tone in particular. The pace and tone of the editing. These are both really messy, whereas like in episode 1, there are countless scenes that have nothing to do with anything that's happening. Episode 2, again,
pod
like,
racing.
and the pacing's all off with the Anakin Padme love story. It's like just interjected in the movie. I mean, the third one probably has the best pacing out of that whole trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison,
Yeah.
for sure. It's interesting that like this whole subject, because of the Star Wars like fade wipe, is part of like all of film now. It's from Star Wars. You know what I mean?
that's true. Which I'm sure it was from, there's probably some like Akira Kurosawa movie or something.
Sure.
Like he stole it from something, but he's definitely made
That
it
makes
Pure
iconic.
wipe. Yeah.
With the whoop.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have to do a lot. We'll have to in the episode like that.
Exactly.
Um,
yeah, I mean, I have to hand it to the sequels on this one.
well, but also the sequels have some like what is happening in this movie. You know what I mean? Like the casino heist.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the big old
yeah.
fennec foxes, horses that they have to steal and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
That village in episode 9 with the worm underground, and Rey uses her force healing.
Oh, they have that whole like Beetlejuice thing really quick. Yeah.
I had to forget about that completely.
Yeah, there's some random stuff when Finn is like, well, the problem with, and Frank said it earlier, the problem with the 9 in particular is they're like cramming stuff in there.
Yeah.
That needed to be like 2 movies to
Like somebody had to like sit on top of the suitcase and like force it down while they like tried to get that zipper closed,
I feel like they had enough left over that they were going to expand it further, but then people realized how much they hated 8, and they're like, all right, well, we need to wrap this up.
yeah, and try something totally different too. That's another weird thing. It's just like a whole different feeling from one movie to the next.
Oh yeah,
It's a mess. Remember Carrie Russell being in 9?
No.
whoa,
She plays Poe's like girlfriend. She shows up for like one scene. She's got a helmet on for most of the movie, and then she like takes her helmet off. It's Carrie Russell.
Weird.
So weird. Yeah. See, I'm telling you. There's some scenes that you've like forgotten about in
That chick
9
from Bones.
because they are so irrelevant. they have no purpose.
Jesus.
So I don't even know, man. This is a mess.
Huh.
And the tone's all over the place in the prequels.
Yeah.
I go back again to the 50s diner that Obi-Wan is at. Or the space nightclub that Anakin's trying to get death sticks at.
There's a lot in that. Yeah. There's a lot of that space nightclub stuff in the first in the prequels.
So I was going to propose like a 1 and a 2, but honestly, they're really big problems for both sets of movies. Like,
They really are. Which is funny because the pace and tone of the original trilogy is like almost perfect.
yeah.
Maybe you complain about the Ewoks, but get out of here.
If you want to
it's
complain
timeless.
about Ewoks, we can take it outside.
I'm going to go ahead and say 1.
Snake
and one.
Eyes?
Yeah. One
Snake
and one.
Eyes?
That was easy.
All right.
Get it together.
That
editing
Oh,
team
I'm
for
excited
Star
about
Wars.
this next one.
That keeps the tabulation easy. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the next one is visual effects and special effects. Everything from live action animation to dynamic explosions. So this could be, this could be like a set piece explosion that's practical.
Hello there.
Or this could be CGI, which,
CGI lava?
yes, I guess people in defense of the prequels might be like, well, it's an old movie, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. You can't go all in on the CGI when it doesn't look that great.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Also, the movies it's prequelizing were like 30 years before that. And
Yeah.
look way better.
Look way better. Well, of course, those are touched up now. I mean, there is some stuff in the originals that look bad, but they hold up a lot better. I mean, look at Jurassic Park in the 90s. Looks
That-
like
that
T-Rex.
is- still looks
that is
dynamite.
the example. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And that is where lighting is important, my friends.
Yeah, for sure. One.
Yeah,
For the prequels, yeah, it's
one.
terrible.
For the prequels or the sequels? I'm talking
for the prequels.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. For the sequels,
4, in my
I
opinion.
mean, maybe 5. I mean, the visual effects are amazing.
It's
the
beautiful.
sound
It's one of
effects?
the it's one of the best parts.
And one of the cool things too is they they brought in a lot of practical stuff. Like they would have a full suit. They would actually make the alien creature,
Yeah.
but then CGI the face to make it look really lifelike. It looks awesome.
There's
It's
actual
just so
Star
nice,
Wars
man.
like performances in it.
Yeah.
I'm also fine with a 5 there.
And I mean, seeing it in theaters, although it's a dumb movie, like we were saying, the sound effects were dope. I mean, you got Dolby
Yeah.
Atmos and like surround around you. And
Although
stuff.
you know what, sound effects are a separate category, which we'll actually be getting to very soon. Okay, so we're on to sound and music.
Well, this will be easy.
Okay, the next one is specifically music. So the scores of the films. I mean, I think the prequels get a 5-star.
I don't know if you
man.
can make it better than like the Duel of the Fates.
Yeah,
Dude, that's exactly the point I was making earlier when we were setting up. It's like Duel of the Fates is one of the bangiest bangers that has ever banged.
You can put that
Yeah.
on, and literally everyone will do the Running Man.
You also have like Anakin and Obi-Wan's duel, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
Anakin and Padme have a really good love theme. It's way better than their actual love story.
yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Like John Williams went all out. You know what I mean?
John Williams is going to do what John Williams do, you know?
Yeah, he doesn't make poop.
He doesn't for sure.
Yeah, he's like Kim Jong-il that way.
Okay, so yeah, 5 for the prequels.
Heck yeah. 6 if I could.
In my opinion, the best part of the prequels is the music.
Probably the best in all of the Star Wars
You think so? Ooh, well,
9 films.
that's kind of hard though, because like
The themes are used again,
like
too.
Vader's theme is so iconic.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even like
Yeah, I guess because they used ones from the original prequels in...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the original. This is really hard to say.
There's
the original
trilogy?
The original
which
trilogy.
itself is a prequel to...
Yeah, that is confusing. Well, no, it's not a prequel. You wouldn't call it a prequel to
I guess, yeah, to the sequels.
the sequel.
Oh, gosh, that's a good song.
Yeah. it is.
Okay, so what about the sequels though? What do you guys think about the music here?
I mean...
Nothing sticks out in my memory.
know
I'm
if-
not going to lie.
Yeah, I don't know if I can recognize a new theme.
I couldn't hum you one like I could the original trilogy or the prequels.
Yeah, Rey has a new theme that's pretty prominent in the movie.
Is it that best friend song Danny keeps playing for us?
She's my best friend. She's a real bad...
Yeah, that's exactly it actually. But the theme, I couldn't even sing it for you now. It's like something like that. It's very, no one's going to get this reference. It's very Dvorak. It's very like romantic era, but specifically that composer, especially like the the trills and the rhythms. You hear it a lot in his music, which I thought was really weird. I was like, John Williams kind of dialing in on this guy. At least that's what I felt. But the melody's not that memorable. Like, none of you can remember what it is.
No.
I can't even remember what it is.
Nah.
He probably went more Wagner on like the first.
Well, speaking of Wagner, the First Order theme is pretty cool. He's like,
Oh yeah, I forgot there is a First Order theme.
Because Nazis.
Yeah, because Wagner's a big old Nazi.
Yeah, and it is very Wagner-esque. Yeah, John Williams knows what he's doing when he's ripping off composers. But I don't know. I mean, it's not bad.
No.
It's just not particularly groundbreaking.
We can't say that John Williams is worse than John Williams.
No, that's true too.
Yeah.
But even his his arrangements of older themes are pretty cool.
Plus, it's like a brand new recording.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds thick in the theater.
Yeah.
When you're in there, it's like, oh yes, this is what I needed. 4?
Yeah. I'm not gonna rate John Williams less than a 4.
Yeah, we'll just deduct 1 point for lack of memorability.
Yeah, because 5 is like, prequels is like classics.
Yeah, dude.
You know, when you have a new piece of music that rivals the original Star Wars themes, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sound. So this is authenticity.
Dude, I gotta give it to the sequels on this one.
Yeah, this has to do with mixing and mastering. But also like believability in the story. And the example they use here is like Saving Private Ryan. You know what I mean?
Sound is incredible in that movie.
The sound is so realistic. The sound of like, you know, the footsteps on the, you know, gravel.
The rain
guns.
hitting rubble.
Well, yeah, even
and then the helmets, you get the little pitter
and in Normandy, like and in all the battle sequences, you have like panned bullet zips, and even when they're underwater, you can hear the difference and stuff. It's amazing.
So 5 stars for Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Easily. Hold on, let me write that down.
Sidebar.
But what about these other two?
I mean, like I said with the sequels, the sound
you can't mess
triumphs.
with it.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
It's in a different technology completely than what they had back then.
And I would say, though, I don't think the prequels have bad sound effects. Right? That's the thing about Star Wars. They're always the same.
Yeah.
True. It's just that the quality is going to be a little bit better in the sequels, literally only because of technology.
Yeah.
Like, just because we have better speakers.
It keeps progressing. It doesn't
Yeah,
regress in any way.
We have higher resolution recordings.
Except for the lo-fi craze.
Oh, yeah. Lo-fi
that's true.
hip-hop beats to kill
So are we saying
Jedis, too.
5 for sequels?
I mean, I would say
Right?
so.
I'd say so, yeah. I mean,
You're-
there's no knocking it.
You can't find a movie that sounds better than Star Wars. I mean, there's a couple.
That's
probably.
Disney money.
Yeah, that's like Disney money. Yeah,
That's a good way to increase sound quality. Just throw money at
yeah.
it.
You can do a lot with sound quality with money.
What about prequels though?
Not bad.
I mean, for the time, amazing. Also,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you definitely have like distinct lightsaber sounds
yeah.
in both. Actually, now that I think about it, the sequels have the
Yeah.
crackling new lightsaber sounds with the unstable crystals, right? And,
Dang,
like,
that thing
yeah.
sounds so cool.
Right?
I wish I need to make a synth patch that sounds like that.
Arguably,
Ooh,
Kylo
yeah.
Ren's is one of the most threatening sounding lightsabers.
Okay, so maybe 4.
Yeah.
4. Another close one.
Because you got pod race sounds too.
A lot
the
of
Padre
close
sounds great.
goods and a lot of close bads.
Okay, directing. The director had a uniform vision and executed the film to its fullest potential.
Oh, that's the
Oh,
argument he
wow.
made for the entire prequel.
Okay, so
Wow.
the first
Never has a question been so heavily weighted against a director.
So just to give you a heads up, the categories are vision and execution. So it's like the idea and was it well executed?
Man, I already know this one.
So let's go vision first.
I think that he did have a grand vision.
Yeah.
For
No, I think
the
so
prequels.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think when he tries to describe it, and especially in like his interviews and stuff, like you're like, okay, that does sound cool.
Mm.
Was it executed
That's
well?
probably how he pitched it in that elevator, you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
How did he get it financed? I mean,
Well, I mean at that point he made Star Wars. You know what I mean? You get anything financed at that point.
and Indiana Jones, everything.
Yeah, lots of big stuff for that guy.
You don't necessarily have the same problems Pauly Shore does once you make Star Wars.
That's true.
Of course, he also, is on record saying like his vision for Jar Jar Binks, how he's like the funniest character they've ever had in Star Wars.
This is Pauly Shore that you're talking about?
No. Although they should have got Pauly Shore for Jar Jar
Probably
Binks.
been better.
Imagine that.
That actually would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, people would have been like, "Oh, this is awesome. I love Pauly Shore." I don't know. 4 for vision. I mean, it is a great vision, but I got to take points off for
We'll get to
for a
execution.
couple things. Yeah, we'll get that. That's
we'll
where
get
the points
to
are really.
There's
come
definitely a stark difference from the prequels to the sequels on this one in vision.
I would say 2
Oh yeah.
for the sequels.
If they planned this arc out from the beginning, like, wow, you guys really suck. Like,
There's no way they did. You know
No,
what I mean?
this
That's
is-
the embarrassing
they
thing
were
about it.
improvising.
But it's like, why didn't you guys just plan it out, man? You
Yeah.
could have made amazing. Like, the quality of the movie is great.
Because it seems like the vision for the sequels was like fat stacks of cash.
Yeah. Plus, there's not the same director. I mean, and to be argued, it's not the same director even in the original trilogy.
No, it's not.
But it's
they
at
had a
least
plan.
consistent. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's at least a good
Yeah.
plan. Whereas it wasn't George Lucas writing the sequels.
No, he's out.
He wasn't
You know what I
even
mean?
creatively on it. Yeah.
And you miss some of that George Lucas flair. You know what I mean? So he's a little too over the top on his ideas sometimes, but his ideas are, awesome. They're very interesting. So
This is definitely like, if I could like describe what they had as a vision, it's like essentially what a casual Star Wars fan would imagine a sequel trilogy being.
I'd imagine that Disney's vision was like giant piles of money that they
Definitely.
were Scrooge McDucking. You know what I mean? Just
Hold on,
diving
hold on.
into.
I thought Vision was a Marvel character.
Also owned by
own
Disney.
Yeah,
Whew.
okay.
And an underrated Avenger. Vision's pretty cool, I would just say.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, easy to. This is
2?
yeah.
Maybe 3? I don't know.
I'd go with 2.
For the sequels?
For the sequels?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with the 2.
Let's do 2. Okay,
Yeah.
execution.
And this is question 9, right? I just want to make sure I haven't left anything out.
We're
All right,
getting
cool.
there. Okay, so execution on the prequels.
I'm gonna have to. Can we do 0?
I mean,
Incomplete.
is there things that are well executed?
Maybe.
Those younglings.
Yeah.
Boom, got him.
I mean, there are some pretty well executed scenes, I think. There's sections of the movie that are very interesting, or the trilogy, I should say. The problem is your protagonist is unlikable.
It's weighing the whole thing down.
Yeah. That wasn't executed.
and
very well.
and that protagonist comes back in every one of them. I mean, a 1.
1?
I
Are you
gotta
guys
say
both
1.
thinking 1?
Yeah, I'm thinking 1.
It's a famous 1.
I feel like 2, but I'll go to 1.
I mean,
just wanna
except
put it on
for,
record.
if we got George Salas on here, he'd probably be like, 4.
4.
Easily.
Well, yeah, this is where prequel fans are like screaming at us right now.
I don't get that.
But there's a lot.
We can't hear you,
Yeah,
idiots.
that's not how podcasts work.
Get a microphone.
Send us an email at uninformed movie reviews at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Sequels.
Execute. See, this is weird. Okay, here's my argument. Each movie is well executed. Like, as far as like making a film goes, well, you know what? I wouldn't say that 8 is well executed, and 9's probably
9
like a
is-
little too
oh,
rough.
yeah.
And we're also not just judging the execution of like the plots within the movies themselves, but the vision for the trilogies,
Yeah,
Also executing
Well,
half the fan base.
we got to think more about the director too. So, like, I
Okay.
think J.J. Abrams, he executed his idea in 7 very well. Yes, was it a rehash? Sure. But even the new ideas were pretty exciting in
it was
there.
pretty original, yeah.
Ryan Johnson, I mean, unfortunately, I don't think his execution was all that great. Like, he weighs it down a little bit. Poor guy. I think he wasn't ready for it.
He was an indie director.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even then, I don't even think he knew where he was going.
Well, again, I mean, how did they fumble this? You know what I mean? How do you not get a big whiteboard and put like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3?
If anything, go start, finish, and then figure out what's in the middle. You know what I mean?
Massive plot points. Here's
This
what
is
needs
where
to
we
happen in
are.
the
This is where
second
we need
film.
to go.
Yeah. We'll do the dialogue later. Let's at least just figure out what the movie's going to be about.
What
They were
story
just like-
are we telling?
Yeah.
Start, finish, pug penguins.
So it's kind of hard. How high can you give the execution of the vision by the director when the vision was so poorly planned out?
Yeah.
Well, so I think the first one is well executed.
Yeah.
The second one is pretty poorly executed. The third one's like middle of the road executed.
Yeah.
So I would say 3.
Yeah.
Average out of 3.
Yeah, I think
Did
so.
Rian Johnson do the last one too?
No, J.J. Abrams comes back.
Oh, that's right.
And the execution's not bad in that movie, but the problem is he spends half the movie trying to erase the previous one.
Trying to save it.
Yeah. So who knows? They should have just pulled the Suicide Squad.
I was
at
going
that
to say,
point.
Just start over.
let out the Johnson cut. Give me that cut, Johnson.
Danny, the biggest proponent for circumcision on the podcast.
The only proponent. I should clarify, I don't condone circumcision. Thank you.
Wow, okay.
On record.
I'm glad we have that on record. Okay, so the last category here, and honestly, this one I think is kind of a dumb category, but we'll do it. We've done the rest of them. The it factor. The
Yikes.
movie is one of a kind and goes above and beyond the status quo.
Neither are one of a kind.
Well, I would say that, well, you know what? It is just a lot of lifted ideas. It's
Yeah.
just not as blatantly
Or
lifted.
elaborated ideas.
Yeah. Like, one's not that many original ideas. It's ancient stories being retold. But at least they're different stories that didn't exist in the Star Wars universe already.
For sure.
Although, you could say, hey, I mean, 7 and 8 8 and 9 do have very one-of-a-kind stories. You know what I mean? Like, some of the plots that are going on in that movie are like, what? What is happening
It's something
here?
that never happened in the Star Wars
Yeah.
universe before, and probably doesn't make sense in both universes, ours and that.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys feel about this one?
I still say that the prequels are more original.
I think so, too.
The prequels are more original?
I would say so. Because at least they're not, how many Death Stars can you make until...
Well, at least 2.
And they bring Palpatine back. Like, it's one
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They're copying things from the first trilogy, and the prequel trilogy.
And that's the thing about the Rian Johnson movie. At least that guy was like, I'm going to make a different movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Episode 8 is not a rehash of anything. It's a very original story. Some of it's not very good, but he went for it. He wasn't
That's
just
a
like...
What matters
category.
is he tried.
Yeah, you got to give him some points for effort.
Are
know
you
what I mean?
saying that the actual prize was the journey along the way?
Yes.
And
it
the
was
friends we made?
It was the friends we made along the way.
So because of Mr. Johnson, we'll probably raise the score like a point
I think.
for like an original. But then what are we thinking? Like
2?
a 3 and a 2?
A 3 and a 2.
A 4
Yeah.
and a 3?
I
A
can't
4 and
go
a 2?
above.
A 3 and a 3?
Can't go above 3 for the sequels.
Okay, let's do sequels 3.
Okay, sequels 3.
Prequels?
It's definitely going to be better than the sequels.
Well, yeah, I would say 4. Because you know
4
what?
for originality?
Because there's a lot of info about the extended universe that are added in there that we got to give... we got to tip our hats to.
There's never been a travesty as big as Jar Jar Binks, so for originality points,
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta give
true
us some
too.
points there.
That is an original character.
And I mean, you're talking about Darth Maul has spawned so many extended universe things because of how cool he was. He was in
Yeah.
half of a movie.
Yeah, like Boba Fett before.
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
Okay, so last one, Above and Beyond. This movie goes beyond the status quo, even the best of the best. It is transcendent. This is
Wow.
This is where the beam points come in. I gotta say, I'll give the prequels a 2.
I'd say, yeah, the prequels live beyond what they were intended
Yeah.
to live beyond because of their hilarity.
We're talking about it right now.
because of the memes.
Yeah. Ironically funny, and it filled a category all in its own.
Yeah.
Something taking itself so seriously that it was hilarious.
And also all the video games that spawned off
Oh, yeah.
of the prequel trilogy. Some amazing
Fire.
games.
I'm looking at you, Bounty Hunter.
But I got to take out those 3 points for it being so awful.
Yeah.
And in no way going above. It's very, very far below.
If anything, everything that spawned from that travesty was better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
3?
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Frank?
For the prequels,
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
I feel like a 3 just for like all the reasons we discussed. Like, sure, was it great? No. Did it create a long-lasting impression? Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. 3.
I mean,
3.
you can definitely go to maybe like a party or a bar with like a bunch of millennials our age, not knowing them, and be like, hey, what do you think of the prequels? And get an opinion.
And they'll have seen them.
Yeah, they'll at least have seen them.
Whereas I gotta say, the sequels, I think, for the most part, there's not too many things that are really memorable for them. Things that are gonna last. You know, I think maybe Kylo Ren and Rey are probably the most interesting characters.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't see people getting that crazy about.
Who's that
them.
one character they shoehorned in The Last Jedi with the bank heist that Finn has like a love interest with?
Her name is Kelly Marie Tran. I don't know the name of her character.
Yeah.
She's that actress who got harassed.
Exactly.
Because her role was so bad. She's like the Jar Jar of the sequels.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No one remembers her now.
No, there's a lot of forgettable things. Like, that's one thing you can say about the prequels. You're not going to forget any of it.
No. There's Holdor.
Yeah, there's Holdor.
I forgot. You forget that Carrie Fisher becomes Force Ghost and flies through space.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're not going to forget that.
So cheesy. Oh,
You're not going to forget that.
Sandra Bullock definitely did floating through space better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's got to be lower. So 1 or 2 is the question.
For sequel, I say...
I give it a 1,
Yeah.
honestly.
1?
Yeah.
I'm down.
There's not much memorability.
And you know, I also feel like no one's itching to return to them.
Nope.
Like the one I enjoy is 7.
Yeah.
I love watching 7. I really like watching parts of 8. I think 8 has some interesting stuff. But then it's a bummer when you watch 9, which I don't think is a poorly executed movie. It's just a terrible finale to a trilogy.
Bad finale.
Yeah.
It's almost like season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Unexpected Game of Thrones again. Wow.
Lots of Game of Thrones this episode.
Someone say more expected this time. Okay, so Frank, Mr. Numbers, man, can you reveal this? I'm so excited.
Gentlemen,
Oh no.
the winner between the Star Wars prequels and the Star Wars sequels will be revealed right after this commercial break.
Brought to you by Extend.
For the prequels, we have a grand total of 50 Womp Rats.
51?
50.
50.
51
womp.
prats.
50
Womp rats.
womp rats. 51 rats.
Yes.
Rats off to you.
For the sequels, a grand total of 62.
62
Wow.
womp
Yeah,
rats.
it's a pretty big spread.
You heard it here first.
And you know, I think a lot of it goes to the actual production of the film.
Well, yeah. I mean, the prequels had a good core.
Yeah.
They had a good like mythos and lore, but terrible production values for the most part.
Arguably a more memorable cast.
Yeah, a much more famous cast too.
Yeah,
Like
Well,
for that
because they
time.
didn't go seeking out a bunch of like unknowns and
Yeah.
Adam Driver.
With his weird chest.
And then you know, sequels, great actors and good
You get the
good
original
production.
actors.
Yeah, you get the originals back. You get pretty decent writing. I mean, when you talk about dialogue, but really it's the structure that yikes.
Yep.
Yikes.
Story, bad. Execution, somewhat bad. Production, amazing.
Okay, well I will say this, I'm not surprised the sequels won, especially with our disclaimer from earlier, but I do got to say a lot closer than I thought.
Yeah.
Like
On a lot of things.
yeah, on a
I
lot of
honestly
them.
thought we were just going to trash on the prequels.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
it's still a 12-point spread, but I thought it would be way worse than that.
Much closer. I like those odds.
So, you know, if you were playing along at home, you got to let us know what your score is. Are we way off? And what were we off on? You know, let us know in the good old comments or shoot the email or just text Frank. His phone number is 915. I'm just joking. Well, I guess it's time though, right? For character
limit.
extended.
It's gonna be a fun one. I think that's the first one with all 3 of us on there.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Mortal Kombat.
Test your might.
Yeah. Okay. So we watched the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're talking about. I forgot.
Yeah. I got to say.
I thought you just did a random Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
right?
no. No, I'm just still pumped.
And
no.
you were just like also down for a random Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, always.
How fun.
We have a lot to say on this one. You go. Yeah.
Okay, so I had the book report. I guess I had the most to say on the review. I just gotta say, like, when I watched the movie, I wasn't upset. I wasn't even thinking it was all that bad. And then the next day, I just kept thinking more and more about it. And then I was like, you know what? a lot of this movie is like very underwhelming. I think it's still worth watching, especially if you're a Mortal Kombat fan.
Especially if you already have the HBO Max subscription.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, we're still like people are going out for sure, but we're somewhat in a quarantine still, you need something at home to do. Probably still aren't going to the theater yet, most people anyway.
Probably the best blessing to come out of the quarantine, being able to watch stuff like this, even though they are mediocre movies.
Oh, and that's going to be gone too.
That's not
for
coming
sure they're going to get rid of that. I will say this. I teach a bunch of 5th graders, and all week
they watched it?
It's Tuesday. Yeah. My 5th graders, especially the little boys, they love Mortal Kombat. They can't stop talking about Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
I frequently have a Mortal Kombat shouted out in class, which, I just got to say...
is disruptive.
It is disruptive, got to come a little bit of slack sometimes, but they are very easily excited. I haven't seen little kids excited about a movie like this for a long time. And also, parents, why are you letting your kids watch this movie?
Yeah.
It's very violent.
This is particularly not one you should let them watch.
No, this is like really violent. But the kids who saw it, they loved it.
But, I mean, I guess it's different nowadays. I mean, obviously. I just said it nowadays, but,
Well, boomer takes over here.
Yeah.
What's weird is that their parents are all like 35. So they were really young when like the 90s one came out. So then it's like, oh, I got to watch this new one with my kid. There's like nostalgia around that old Mortal Kombat movie, which also kind of sucks.
Oh, they're bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a Star Wars prequel kind of way.
I think they might be like a little more charming though. There's a little more heart in them. Whereas in this new one feels like
it's very cold.
Not a lot of heart.
No.
Yeah.
Not a lot of anything, really. Like, the characters are just so boring.
Like you said, this movie was exactly what you expected. And what I expected, for sure. I didn't expect to be wowed.
Yeah.
But especially because it was like a week before it came out and they had like half a trailer out. I was like worried. I was like, okay, they're not showing a lot from this movie.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried it's going to be real bad. I just really wanted to see a tournament. I didn't want to see all of the giant fights in one like sequence, in one montage.
I think that was really bad editing. That scene
Super
in particular,
bad editing.
you couldn't really follow any of the fights. They all went by so quickly.
Casting was weird.
The cast, I wouldn't have even minded, that kind of compilation fight scene if the editing just like took a little more time on each person.
We're there for the fights.
Yeah.
And the fights was like 20%.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of like going from one place to another.
Yeah, I'm sure the filmmakers felt like they needed to give us some kind of like backstory and substance, which they didn't do a great job of. But they just needed to give us the fights.
Yeah.
That being said, overall, like, I had a pretty fun time watching it. I laughed. I had a bunch of and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and if you just watch it, have a couple beers, try not to think about it
Watch
too
it
much
with
when
your
you're
kid.
done. Yeah.
Give him a couple beers.
Yeah, give that kid a couple beers.
I could have gone for more fatalities. I was also a little bit let down that at the end is when they played the Mortal Kombat song and it was like an orchestrated version of it. I'm fine with it. It's cool, but I wanted to hear that techno version.
I think you maybe could have thrown it in the credits. I liked where they used it in the movie. I think it would have maybe been a bit too much to go full 90s during the movie, but during the credits, they should have hit it.
If anything, I think they should have like put the story in the 90s.
Or they should have just had Skrillex redo the song.
Oh my God. Dang.
You affected Danny. That attack
like,
was
hurt my brain.
very effective.
If anything, I really hate the protagonist too. I mean, like, he's not memorable. He's boring. He's so average, and he's a terrible fighter.
Are you just projecting because of how average you are?
Yeah, if anything, he should have been more spectacular than me. But honestly, I got to give credit where credit is due. I think that the Sub-Zero Scorpion feud could have made that movie so good.
Yeah, if they relied a little bit heavier on that blood feud.
Yeah, man. If they could have gone through time or something like that.
Their fight scene was one of the best ones.
Ah.
I gotta say though, well, Goro in the original movie also lost like in a very too easy of a way for how intimidating he is in the game, and in this one I was like, Really? You're going to just have this guy like defeat Goro on his own?
I was like, Goro's one of the hardest.
Yeah, it just seemed weird. It seemed weird that
He's essentially a boss.
okay, Sub-Zero, we need to team up against him. It's like, what about this guy with 4 arms just ripping people in half?
Well,
just saw that painting.
He already took one hand, so that's like already less of a threat a little bit.
Mm-hmm. When you see him chop that hand off, you're like, this is done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to see Ermac. Oh, well.
Ermac. Well, I think there's going to be a second one. It
If
seems
they
like
make
this
enough
movie
money.
has been
I gotta
pretty
say,
successful.
Cabal and Kano are the best parts of that movie, for sure. Sub-Zero. Cabal, Kano, Sub-Zero, Scorpion.
Wait, who's Cabal again?
He's the guy that's...
Predator.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that's right.
but there's
right.
like multiple characters that look like Cabal. There's
Yeah,
Cabal, there's Smoke,
yeah.
right? Or
Yeah, Noob Saibot, right?
Saibot. Yep.
Saibot,
They're-
yeah.
And they're 3, they're like the same character.
It's confusing, yeah. Well, and that's just an old, like, we need more characters, but we don't have a lot of memory left.
Yeah. That's how they got Sub-Zero
Yeah.
and Ermac and
Reptile and
Scorpion.
Yeah. Reptile, it's weird that they can never decide on Reptile if it's like, do we want to do Lizard or do we want to do green suited ninja?
Exactly.
And they went Lizard this time.
I thought he looked okay.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
And Reptile's not going to carry anything. I'm glad they killed him like so quick.
Yeah. Although I was a little sad that Kung Lao was gone.
Yeah, Kung Lao was good. Liu Kang was
looking
good.
forward to him.
That actor was good.
Yeah, he had the right look, but to me, just like, okay, who cares? You know what I mean?
Raiden was bad.
What do I know about this guy?
I didn't like the
Yeah,
production
Raiden
of
wasn't
Raiden.
cool enough, and that's upsetting to me because that's my favorite character to play with for sure.
And he's my favorite character in the 90s. In the 90s, it's the guy that plays Dexter's dad. That plays Raiden.
Ajax.
Yeah, Ajax. Exactly. It is. And he actually carries
I forgot
it.
about that.
But like the poor production quality of like Raiden's white eyes throughout this entire movie was so bad. It looked really bad the entire time. But also the actor wasn't that great, and he never fought. And I get it, but he never fought.
Okay, we gotta do remake versus original soon.
Yeah.
Speaking of money, because we were just talking about they'll do a second one if they make enough money. Opening weekend, $23 million, and its worldwide gross $51 million so far.
What's the budget on this thing? Do you have any
No
idea?
budget numbers yet. Still too fresh.
I would imagine kind of low. I hope kind of low because that seems like one of the restrictions of the movie.
Yeah, it definitely seems low budget.
I mean, that CGI ain't great.
Yeah, it really isn't.
They might have had the same team from the prequels.
And I've seen reviews like saying like, "Oh, the CGI was great. It's just like effects were amazing." And I'm like, man,
How drunk were those
Which movie
people?
were you watching there?
They had more than a few beers.
Yeah, dope. I'll watch it again at some point, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably pass on the sequel. I'll be honest. Now that I think about it,
I'll probably watch the
I'll
sequel if
watch
they
it.
put it out.
I'm hoping it'll be
if
better.
If you guys are like, let's do it for the channel, I'll be like, okay.
All right, cool. We'll
It
make
will
sure to
be
get it
better.
on the schedule.
It'll probably be better than Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I think that's getting a sequel too. We'll do a comparison. We'll do a comparison.
Oh God!
No way
bad
am I
is
seeing that movie.
That gonna be?
Yeah.
Woo!
No way ever.
Wow.
Well,
I guess we extended that character limit, guys.
we did. Go check out the original review on our channel, please. Which means it's time for. Oh, that is interesting.
How interesting. Normally a current event topic, but before we found a fun movie news story, we found something else fun to do instead. Because sometimes if you go to websites looking for news, what instead you get is a list. And that's what we're working off of today. I'm pretty sure this is from Cinema Blend. Yes. I'm fairly positive. There are 14 actors, gentlemen, who have been in both the Star Wars franchise and the Marvel franchises.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
And we're going to go ahead and see who can name the most.
Ewan McGregor.
Are we doing like a pass? You know what I mean? Like Danny
Yeah,
names
let's-
one, then I'll go.
Let's
Okay.
go that way.
Okay, so I don't think.
No, he's not yet.
I don't think
He's
you're right
not.
on that one.
David.
Natalie Portman.
That's true. She's in Thor, huh?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Paul Bettany, but well, I already said Paul Bettany. So
Paul Bettany is.
You are correct.
He's in Solo.
I forgot we're including those movies.
Yeah. This is
Darn.
everything.
It's Vision and Jarvis.
Alan Tiddick.
No, David, you must be thinking of Firefly.
Okay, I wasn't sure if he was in Marvel, but it was just a guess.
Is Donald Gleason?
Domhnall Gleeson.
Domhnall
I don't
Gleeson.
think he
No?
is.
No.
Okay, but I still think it's
No.
my turn. Let me see if I can. So we got 2. Liam Neeson? No, he's not in the Marvel universe.
Not yet. I'm sure he will be.
I was thinking of his Clash of the Titans role because he plays like
Oh, yeah.
whoever
Zeus.
he is in Zeus. Yeah.
Let's see. I guess it's my turn. It's not going to be any of the big parts of the Avengers.
Huh.
Is Mark Ruffalo? He's not, right?
No, he is not.
Jeez, man, I have no idea. This is so
Gotta
hard.
be like sub.
Do we only have 2? We have Natalie Portman.
You each have 1 point.
We each have
Shoot.
1 point.
Natalie Portman and Paul Bettany.
And that was on just a flow out.
Donald Glover.
Point David.
Oh, he's in Spider-Man. I forgot Donald Glover was in Solo. I'm forgetting like the entire Solo cast and what's the other one? Rogue One.
Rogue One. Oh, who cares about Rogue One though? I feel like I'm cheating by looking at the cover of this
You
movie.
got Donald Glover. Oh gosh.
I'm really glad I'm the one that stumbled on this list and I don't have to play this game.
Oscar Isaac?
No.
No.
And I don't know who that is.
He's
Poe Dameron.
He's Poe Dameron.
I know he's in X-Men, technically.
Yeah, he is. He's an
But-
X-Men. He's Apocalypse.
He is Apocalypse, yeah.
That's a pretty bad one.
Which is now the Marvel Universe.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what Marvel does with their crazy crossoverness. Shoot, man, I have
This
no...
is really stumping me. Brie Larson?
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, well, yeah. There you go.
Yes.
Wow.
No point for Brie Larson. Sorry, Danny.
Darn.
There's a couple. There's still like a handful of pretty big name actors left on this list.
Really?
Yeah. Actors who you
Really?
both be like fairly to pretty familiar with.
Christopher Lee? No.
Oh,
He's not in any of those.
shoot.
Can you give us a hint,
This is
Frank?
stumping me.
One of them is an actor-director.
Jon Favreau.
Oh, yeah, he's in Star Wars, too.
Yeah.
Darn.
Does this include Mandalorian? Does this include like television shows?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Is Rosario Dawson one of them?
No. But shout out to Rosario Dawson.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Pedro Pascal's not in Marvel yet, is he?
Not according to this list that was
Darn.
published 4 days ago.
But he's gonna be Joel. I have no idea. And the segment's gonna get boring if we don't come up with
All
something.
right, so next hint. Whose turn is it?
I think Danny
think
should
me.
get the next one.
Next hint. One of these people is known for a very peculiar facial feature.
Joaquin Phoenix?
No, but good guess based on the evidence.
Goes to you.
Steve Buscemi. I don't think he's in any of these.
No.
A strange. Oh. I don't know his name. What's Ghost Dog?
Ghost Dog?
Yeah, he knows who it is. He just can't think of the name.
I can't
That's
think of
hilarious.
his name. I have no idea what his name is. He's got one of these things.
Forrest Whitaker?
Forrest Whitaker. There we go. Yeah. Who is Forrest Whitaker in the Marvel
Yeah,
universe?
Zuri?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Huh.
Simon Pegg. I don't think he's in the Marvel universe.
No,
Oh.
he's not.
Oh, no, he's not. Okay. I'm not sure her name, but she's one of the Valkyries. She's this African American actress. I can't remember her name. Darn. She's in Westworld, and she's one of the Valkyries.
Oh yeah. She's in Veronica Mars.
Yeah. Maybe she's not in Marvel. No, but she is Marvel. Maybe she's not in
I
Star
don't know
Wars.
if she's in Star Wars. I feel like maybe we're gonna have to
We're gonna have to get some hints here.
hang this up or give us another hint. Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's do another hint. One of these is also a pretty prolific actor whose name is similar to a famous director.
Scorsese? No.
Not the same name as the director, just very similar. Same first name.
Huh.
No, it's just got the same rhythm, and I only think they're the same because I always intentionally say the other person's name when I'm talking about
What's
either person.
a
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Good guess.
Jeez, man.
I mean, give us a movie made by this
yeah,
director?
can you give us a movie from the
There's
director?
a lot of those.
Well, it's like he didn't make the movie, but he produced it, and it was dog.
Harvey Weinstein.
We were just talking about it.
You're gonna have to give us a bigger hint. I'm like, I can't even focus in on what this could be.
No. This
So the director I'm referring to is Guillermo del Toro.
Oh,
Benicio del Toro.
Ah,
I forgot he's the collector.
yeah.
Who is he in Star Wars?
He's the heist guy in the casino movie.
Credited as DJ.
Jesus.
Laura Dern.
One of these other big name actors has a funny sounding name, and he sounds kind of funny because he's not from the United States of America. He's also a handsome long boy.
It is not Paul Bettany.
Chris Pratt? No, I'm just kidding.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
No.
No.
Uh,
I'm blanking.
Is it
Any-
eating at you? Searching for this answer?
is it what?
Is it eating at you trying to find this answer?
Eating.
This is tough.
Do you feel like your search for the answer in this question is consuming you right now?
Consuming. Josh Brolin?
Good burger. Dude, I
I have no idea.
drawing a blank right
All
now.
right, so I'm going to tell you who it is just so we can take this one off. But Mads Mikkelsen.
Mads Mikkelsen.
He plays Hannibal,
Yeah.
the cannibal.
Wait, who does he play in Marvel?
Galen Erso in Star Wars and Caecilius.
See, here's the thing. It's like I don't understand who these Marvel characters
There's a
are.
lot of Marvel characters. I don't remember what
There's
movie.
a ton of them.
What movie is he in? I can't even tell you.
I couldn't tell you. There's so many
sure
just actors in the background.
No, I think
in
he's like a
Marvel.
bad guy. But that's the thing. Like, it's hard to keep track of all those bad guys.
So there's really only one more big name on. Well,
Okay.
two more big names really on this list that we haven't gotten yet.
Okay.
You guys want to give it a shot?
Let's see if we can get him. Let's see if we can get him.
Give us some hints.
So this actress, I don't really recognize her from anything before, but she launched her fame in a horror movie.
Whoa, that was a loud
Dude, I
stomach
for
bump.
sure got that tummy
Yeah,
noise.
that's
There's no way I didn't.
Sorry, guys.
Had her launch
Haven't
in
eaten.
a horror movie.
Horror movie from what decade?
Keira Knightley.
From the 2010s.
2010s. A younger person.
We've mentioned this person on the channel before.
On Anya Taylor-Joy.
On the channel.
It's tough. Got her launch from a horror movie.
It was a CLE episode.
What?
What horror movie have we done a CLE episodes? Vera Farmiga?
No.
She's way too old for that. 2010.
What horror movie? I don't know.
Scary stories to tell in the dark.
The director who directed this horror movie hasn't done a ton of movies. He's a newer director.
Robert Eggers?
We haven't CLE'd any of those.
Oh, Florence Pugh or something, whatever.
Who?
Pugh, what's her last name?
Pug.
No, but it's definitely not anybody named Florence.
No, or that's not Florence.
Okay, can you give us the name of the movie?
Yeah, this is
The
going
name of the
nowhere.
movie is Us.
Oh, I don't know her
Lupita
name.
Nyong'o.
Yeah,
It is Lupita Nyong'o.
Wait, who is she
She's
in the
in
Marvel universe?
Black Panthers.
Nakia.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in Black Panther.
Yeah, bro.
Forgot about that.
Man. Okay.
Aren't both of the actors in Us in Black Panther?
Yeah, he's one of the rival clans.
Yeah, the one that plays the dad, right?
Yeah. You know what? I was going to say Lupita Nyong'o too because I remember her being Maz Kanata, but I couldn't remember her name until you said Us. And I was like, oh.
Oh, she's Maz Kanata?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
All right, and then the last one we're going to shoot
Okay,
for.
Okay.
This actor. He's more known not so much for being on screen, but for his incredible work in pre-pro to give characters life.
Andy Serkis.
Damn. I'm not sure who was first on that one. But either way, even if I give Danny the point, that would make it 5-4.
Yeah. I think you took this one.
Yeah, David, you won.
Oh,
David.
yay.
Good job. Other actors that you guys couldn't guess, and I don't know if I've ever heard of these people. Ben Mendelsohn.
I know Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh, yeah.
Orson Krennic
Yeah.
and Talos.
Okay.
Hannah John Common, who plays the First Order bridge officer and Ghost.
Oh, of course. Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about now.
Richard Armitage, who's a Naboo fighter pilot, and Heinz Kruger.
Oh, old Dick Armitage.
Yeah. And Peter Serafinowicz, who's the voice of Darth Maul and plays Garthan Saul.
Weird. Okay, we would have never got those last ones.
No.
Wow. That was
Wow.
surprisingly tough.
That was tough. I thought this was going to be easy. Okay, well, GG.
Overconfident you were.
Look, I think there's only time for one more segment today.
What segment could that possibly be, David?
Well, it's a brand new surprise segment. No, I'm just joking. It's Peeps and Predict. It's the segment where we take two people, real or fictional, or maybe groups of people, and have a debate from these jars, and we decide. So why don't we go ahead and draw out the peeps here? Who are we talking about today?
So a weird vibe coming from over there.
Yeah,
Danny.
Danny's got weird energy right now. Here, I'll take this green one before something bad happens.
Woo! Okay. It's the monster, y'all. It's the power of the monster. All right, so up first, we've got Gogeta versus King Kong.
Wow.
Ooh, the meeting that's never been met before,
Yes.
except for a handful of times.
I'm really
go
hoping they can
down.
take down Alice. One of them.
Who's more likely to successfully pass the Jedi trials?
Godzilla. No, King Kong.
King Kong works better with people, I think.
He does, and he's more humanoid, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Opposable thumbs.
He's more acrobatic.
Okay. Yeah, Godzilla's kind of sluggish.
If anyone could have a force jump, it would be King Kong.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, you couldn't get Godzilla to like go along with some organization's plan. You know what I mean? Godzilla's got one thing, and it's ruling the world.
He do what he do.
Godzilla's got too much of a gray area. Like, he's not always a good guy, and you got to do that to pass the Jedi trials.
He'd be a gray Jedi
Yeah,
if he was.
He'd be gray, or he'd be a Sith daddy.
Sith Daddy. Could be.
Sith Daddy Zilla.
Light Sith.
Yeah,
You know what I
light
mean?
Sith.
Sith light.
I just play around with it. That's easy.
Yeah, that was a pretty easy one.
King
So-
Kong.
Kong, yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, so another peep. Another
no,
predict.
same peeps.
Another predict.
New predict. Who's more likely to have a healing power that no one has ever heard of?
I think this is one I put. Or was it one
Did
you
you?
put?
I put it in.
Oh,
Maybe
okay,
there's two of them.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Alice from Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
No,
we're still
she's
on-
the queen of-
We're still on
Oh,
Godzilla
Godzilla.
King Kong.
This one's pretty tough.
Godzilla, I would think.
Well, doesn't Godzilla have a healing power that we've
does.
already heard of?
He like floats close to the Earth's core in the
Yeah,
ocean, right?
yeah.
To, like,
He does have
restore
that
it.
recharge because he is nuclear powered.
Yeah.
So it would probably be King Kong. Just out of
Not
Well,
knowing.
just out of
well,
not
I
knowing.
would say that argument would go. Oh, no, I see what you're saying.
but
That he
no
already
one-
has it, but we know he
but no
can
one knew
heal.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, no one would know. I'm sure
It was a
if-
surprise when we saw it.
If anyone's gonna have surprise powers,
But we know now.
it might be Godzilla because you can say anything nuclear is like, okay, well, sure, that does something fantastical.
That's true. Sometimes Godzilla does just bust out a new power,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay,
Especially
yeah.
in the old movies.
Yeah,
Because I'm
mean-
trying to argue from who would you be more surprised by, but that's not the prompt. The prompt is who's more likely to have the power in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you be surprised if Godzilla could like turn red and start flying now? Probably not.
And if anything, King Kong usually doesn't have powers except for this magical
Except for
axe
like
that he has.
his power.
Yeah.
yeah. Very simple character.
Tiebreaker time.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Let's get another one out of here.
Let's get Alice out of here. Who's
Well,
least
still not-
likely to
still
be in
not
a
yet.
Resident Evil game? I'm just kidding. She's still least likely to be in a
still
Resident
least
Evil.
likely, yeah. She's not going to be in any of those games.
Who's more likely to keep Star Wars toys mint in box.
Well, I'll just put it out that Godzilla can't take those Star Wars toys mint in the ocean.
True.
That's not going to keep him
And
mint.
Kong can keep a blonde woman in moderate condition out of box.
While
Yeah, he
fighting two T-Rexes.
Yeah.
He didn't crush her.
No, he didn't. He knows how to handle things with care.
He would probably collect things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. Lonely on his island.
Ty goes to Kong.
Yeah, Ty goes to Kong. Right on. So
Now
then
the moment we've all been waiting for.
Kong versus our reigning champ, who's currently Alice from the Resident Evil series. And you know what? I'll let you guys in on it. I watched the 5th one now.
Oh, God.
I got one last one.
Oh, you poor soul.
It gets even crazier.
What did she do
even
now?
more outlandish. She got her powers back. That's what happened.
So she lost him?
For like one movie, but now Wesker is like president of the United States, and it's the last stand. That's what they're setting up the end of the 5th movie. That all of humanity that's left is at the White House, and Wesker brings Alice there to give her back powers because she's the only one who can help us. And he's like sitting in the president's chair, like in the Oval Office.
Dude.
Guys, I mean, it's like unbelievable what's
This
happening on the
movie?
screen.
These movies sound like they're written at like the Oval Office in the Idiocracy universe.
Yes.
Like,
It's a crossover moment you've all been waiting for.
this is so stupid. This is
It's incredible. Like
beyond stupid.
every time I watch it, I'm like, no way, no way. There's no way you could get dumber than this. And then they keep going. It's amazing.
And they keep funding it.
Wow. Yeah. Well, they keep making barrels of money. It's like, who's watching these movies?
How are they still coming out in theaters? Is what I want to know. Tremors goes like straight
Yeah.
to DVD, but this comes to theater.
Michelle has asked that multiple times. How do these movies keep coming to theaters? Well, people are watching them. Like they're making millions of dollars.
God,
Vote with your dollar.
angering.
It's a phenomenon.
All right,
Okay.
here we go. King Kong versus Alice in who's more likely to tolerate sand? Darn. Alice has like an entire movie in sand.
Yeah. And King Kong lives on a tropical island.
Darn
You know
it.
what I mean?
Tropical islands have beaches, but you don't see him at the beach too
He's
much.
never at the beach.
I don't see him swimming too much. I mean, maybe in that new movie.
Yeah, Alice is literally riding a motorcycle through a sandy
And we
desert.
know from the opening scene of Kong versus Godzilla, from Kong scratching his butt, that at the very least he does get itchy. So
That's
he
true.
could be irritated by the sand.
I don't think he'd be ready for that. He wouldn't be ready for a sand dense environment.
He probably requires a lot of water.
And also imagine like say we're in a
weight?
sand dune scenario. That weight, like trying to climb up. You can't just let anything go through sand dunes like a spherical ball. That doesn't make any sense.
Get all caught in his fur.
Is that what
too.
happens?
No, I just mean in like BB-8. Like BB-8's like a ball
Oh.
that like rolls through sand, but there's no like friction to catch on anything. Doesn't make any sense.
Are we going to try and look through the plot holes of the sequels to Star Wars?
Yeah. No, I don't think we need to. I think it's Alice.
This
guys.
one's easy,
This
Alice.
one's easy Alice.
To tolerate sand? Yeah, it's going to be Alice.
So,
There's a
number two for
lot
them?
she'll put up with.
No, it's just one for the reigning champ.
Ooh, oh no.
How many of these episodes have you done with us?
I'm sorry.
Every episode of Peeps and
It
Predicts is
happens.
Danny's first episode of Peeps and Predicts.
It just happens.
That's okay. Well, that gives us a reason to go over the rules and make sure we spread the
Yeah,
word.
That's why he does
I'm
it.
just like the
Yeah.
audience perspective. There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Well, reluctantly, Alice is the champ again.
Again. Hey, and thank you for this Star Wars filled episode.
Oh, happy May the 4th to you.
Yes, may the 4th be with you.
Let's hope that the Star Wars universe gets a little bit better, and it is already with the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. Maybe we'll do an episode on some of the awesome Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be more fun.
Yeah. Some of the Star Wars stuff that's not really mediocre.
Oh, fantastic. Well, keep your eyes peeled for the new CLEs that will be coming out.
That's
right. We got a ton of fun stuff planned ahead for us.
It's going to be a fun-filled summer, everyone. There's still some new movies coming out that we can check out. Things are coming back.
Oh yeah.
Check us out on old Instagram at Uninformed Movie Reviews, where David likes to post some really cool polls and dance on polls and also do stories. Check it out.